Good evening, all. Welcome home. It is cheap date night. It is Friday. So you're getting your window of opportunity here to watch. So CVL RT, the Central Valley Leadership Roundtable, 5 to 6, the Hour of Truth with Gamino, Eliseo Gamino. Great dude. I really like what he's doing. He's passionate and concerned about issues and policies when it comes to, in our particular area, the west side of Fresno County, and some areas and small towns that don't get any attention. They're not recognized, not noticed, but you got people out there doing hard work, dirty work, literally feeding, not just this area, but feeding the country. And I like to tell people, those people are like the backbone of the food economy. They don't get enough attention and love, but we're making sure they do. So that's Gamino, 5 to 6 p.m. on Friday nights, followed immediately by the Glam Show. My daughter comes on around a little after 6, and she's giving you her look with Minerva, her co-star, that damn little cat, for about, 30 to 45 minutes. And if you guys haven't noticed, Gabby's having a lot of fun with her editing and the way she does her profile or her program. It's not just someone jumping on a mic in front of a screen and talking to you. It's active, it's actionable. And so I'm kind of having fun watching her, because it's like I'd get a chance to watch somebody in New York doing a thing, and it happens to be my daughter. So you get Gabby at 6, and then we are up on Cheap Date Night at 7. And I think this is going to be the format, ladies and gentlemen, from now going forward. So it'll be the Hour of Truth at 5, the Glam Show at 6, and then Cheap Date Night will come up at 7 o'clock, because it gives me the ability to run an hour, or maybe a little more, because we're the last show of the evening, and we can be a little more flexible with our guests. Maybe we have a damn good conversation. And we've had that over the last few weeks with some really, really good, talented people, not just specifically musicians, but artists in a variety of ways. I'm an artist in a lot of capacities, not just the audio, but I do like that ability to be able to talk about things and be unhurried, unrushed, because I'm only going to do this once in a great while. It is my network, and I have the ability to do what I want, because if it's good, I don't want to cut it. I want that out, all right? I haven't lived this long to get to this point to be crushed and stifled. Oh, we can't do this. No, hell no. If it's good, we run it. If it goes a little later, we go a little later. Good conversation's always good for everybody to hear. Okay, so here we go. So I don't know. Maybe I end up doing like more musicians, because I'm getting the music bug again, after about 25, 30 years out of the game, when I kind of wanted to back then. I'm finding some, I'm not going to go too far, because I don't want to tip my hat on anything, but sometime next week, midweek, or at the back end on a Friday, probably for Cheap Date Night, you are going to have some music that comes to you that I've been putting together, working on. I won't give too much out, because if I do, you'll probably know some things. I don't want to tell you everything. But let's just say things have been worked on, things have been being worked on, and it's music. And we're going to field test this out next week. And if I like it, and if I feel good about it, then I'm going to devote and commit my time and energy to building that out for music and for artists to come and do their thing with SuperMex International, the network, getting them out to larger audience, because, and I'm going to say that we'll have this little conversation a little bit tonight, but it's not like there are, 15 clubs beating down the door to get a musician to come and play for them. You understand why. It's COVID, and we have restriction, and in some cases, in some locations, if not our own, Fresno and Central California, then all across the country, depending on the state you're in, the restrictions are different. Actually, it depends on the governor, depending on what party they're in. That's kind of what's dictating the thing right now. But my point is that it's not as easy for the average artist, musician, or group to just go play music on a weekend, to gig, or to do anything else. So I'm putting my money and my time and effort where my mouth is. Art needs to be fostered. Creativity needs not to be stifled. So if we can't do it in the traditional fashion, then great minds will find ways to get those things out. And that is what we're going to do with our platform here, SuperMex, the network. And I will find a way to get you original artists and original music for you guys to listen to, and you're going to help me too, because we're going to help these young artists be heard, because they don't have the same ability right now to be heard. But we're going to make that happen, okay? And quite literally, so tonight, not necessarily the genesis of all that, but in part, it is a part of what we have coming going forward. So we've got a young artist with us tonight. He is in a band. He is local in this area, and we're going to flesh out a good conversation. We're going to talk music. We're going to talk about his band. He's going to talk about himself a little bit, because we need to know him, and we need to know his band, and we need to know the music. That's how this thing gets moving. And then, like I said, like I always do, is you guys know Cheap Date Night, we talk about TV, movies, and music. We'll see how that works out. We always do end up, talking more about the music, but I throw in the TV and the movie stuff because you kind of know what people are watching too. It's not just listening, right? Because it's not like you're not going to go listen to or watch for the next movie, or it's entertainment. It is visual and audio, and so I do like getting young creative people and figuring out what they're listening to or watching, because it's probably not the same stuff I'm watching. It ain't the same stuff. And that's how I learn, right? When you get old, you got to listen to some young stuff. You got to listen to some young bucks and what they're doing. That way you learn a little bit. Okay, without any further ado, so the young gentleman is named Max Winterburn. And I think, so Max, what we're going to do is we're going to let you introduce yourself. And you're going to tell us who you are, a little bit about, so instrument, how long you've been playing instrument, and then we're going to need a little bit of background and some information on the band and the guys you're with. You're going to give me their names. Don't forget any, because it's going to be on air now. They'll know. They'll know. But the guys in the band, who plays what, and then let you talk a little bit about the music you guys are trying to play and that you want to play. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Max Winterburn. I am a guitarist here in Fresno, California. So I've always been pretty interested in music, and I grew up in a very musical household. My mom is a belly dancer, and I kind of grew up.
Belly dancer?
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So I kind of grew up with a lot of that world music and stuff like that. And what really interested me was when she was, dancing to a lot of flamenco music. I heard a lot of guitar, and that really interested me. So I, persuaded my mom to get me some guitar lessons, and then I was off from there. It's all I wanted to do. Not.
Did you learn how to belly dance?
No,
Oh,
that wasn't very much my thing. But so yeah, and then for a good majority of high school, I was just really playing guitar all the time. Not a whole lot of homework getting done. Just playing a lot of guitar and stuff.
That's bad news. I'm a former teacher, right?
Yeah.
Former teacher.
Yeah, but I was really hooked, and it wasn't until a good year in that I even thought about being in a band. And I knew some local guys around town that were into music, and I knew a drummer, but they were all doing their own musical things. And once my drummer's former band broke up, I approached him and asked if we could start playing and just jamming and stuff like that. And So
let me hold you there for a second.
Yeah.
So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Clovis High.
Okay, so you're Clovis High.
Yeah.
So you got music, you played music, didn't do any homework.
Yeah.
I got that part.
Yeah.
I got that part. Did you not play when you were in high school? I mean, like in a band or a group?
It wasn't until I started playing guitar about 8th grade, and it wasn't until halfway through junior year that I got my first band ever together. So there was a good period where it was, no one even.
But that's cool though. I mean, because you're still learning, right?
Yeah, I was still learning.
Let's face it, so with high school, you got to take classes. You've got your requirements.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna guess, and I don't know like Clovis High's like specific like graduation requirements and stuff, but I don't know if you could even take like 4 straight years just all music, right? I mean, you can't do that because you got to have your math requirement, your English.
Yeah.
So how much music did you take while you were in school?
While I was in school, first 2.5 years of school, I wasn't in a band or anything, and it wasn't until the jazz band drummer, who is the drummer in my band now, was told me, hey, you should join the jazz band. And I was, I hadn't really been into jazz, and
Yeah.
even now I'm not super into jazz, but it's a really, you know, good way to expand your playing and stuff like that.
There's a good technical
Yeah, yeah,
aspect
exactly.
to jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you
Yeah.
have to be good.
Yeah, I have a total appreciation for it.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't until halfway through my junior year and senior year that I was involved in music at my school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, 'cause I mean, that's, you know, you got to get something out of high school. And I will say most decent high schools, or at least size-wise, you know, that are good-sized high schools, will have, you know, a variety of selections you can do. It's not just like, hey, I'm going to be in the band, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to get on the marching, you know, on the field and play for the football players.
Yeah.
You know, and then now you get some selection. You have like a jazz component,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you have other types of music that high schools and high school music directors are allowing some freedoms
Yeah.
within their department, so that people, kids, students can get a different look. I mean, I know like for I'm on Central side, you know, Central, and my daughter got in junior high she got 2 years of guitar. She did 2 years guitar, and a Spanish guitar actually. It's funny, yeah, Spanish guitar. The guy's really good. He's pretty badass. I like him. He's a good dude, and he's like really passionate about like strict form, learning proper playing.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, proper
Very classical.
hand placement. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's really strict about it, which is good. You know,
Yeah.
which is good. You want to learn properly.
Yeah.
But I think it was Garcia, Mr. Garcia. He did junior high. He did multiple junior highs, and then some at the high school too. But my point is that, you know, there's Spanish guitar that you could learn at Central.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
very
there's this, and then there's that. And there's a variety. And I do dig on that, you know, you guys get choices.
Yeah.
And you get the ability to do more than one thing or none, you know,
Yeah.
whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of where you get it, you know, because I know there wasn't half as much selection when I was in. And when I was in school, it was you're a band geek or you're not. Meaning, if you did music, you did the band, and that was it. There wasn't all this other selection or choice, and there sure as hell wasn't like specific instruments that you
Yeah.
can have an entire class on, right? Which I think is badass. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So that is good, but not all schools get that. And so it kind of diverges or makes you go one direction. The band, yeah.
Yeah.
No longer together. But you kind of have to make some choices, and that's how you learn, and you get to expose yourself, and now you know some more,
Yeah.
you know, music, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So how many, let me do this. How many classes / years did you do musically?
Musically, so I was
Jazz?
just jazz band. That's the only music I was ever involved in high school, and that was for 2.5.
Okay, so
school
junior and
years.
senior year.
Yeah, junior year and senior year.
And did you guys go compete?
Yeah, we actually my junior year we went to the Monterey Jazz Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a pretty prestigious jazz
Right, right.
festival. Yeah, which was a really good experience for me. You know, it was a bit difficult because it was, you know, my first year in jazz band, and you know, I was just really learning the ropes, and
Throw you in the deep end.
yeah, and I'm not very classically trained, and I barely could read sheet music, but because of my ability to play, they just threw me right in honors
Oh,
jazz
really?
band. Yeah, so it was I had to learn very quick, you know,
Okay.
how to read chord
Did
charts.
you not
and
learn
all
how to
that.
read when you were in like middle school or junior?
Because I wasn't involved in a whole lot of music.
Okay.
I took piano lessons when I was younger, but you know, I never
don't
wanted.
remember.
I
Yeah, you
never,
don't remember.
wanted to go.
No,
you
I know you
Yeah.
did. So I mean, I did clarinet and saxophone when I was young, like elementary,
Yeah.
and I had to read. You know, I had to read music. I had to
Yeah.
read sheet and play, right? But you know, maybe it is there, but it's not because I haven't done it in so long, or I hadn't done it in so long. You just kind of take some of those things for granted. And my point is that if you're not doing it like every single year, it doesn't stay with you the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it gets kind of busted up,
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, I don't read, I just play,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, and then next thing you know, you're trying to, you
Yeah.
know, relearn something or get back to it. So, all right, so you began to learn, you know, guitar, and then you did jazz, the jazz band at the back end of your high school.
Back into
And so
high
let me
school,
stay with you a little bit, then we'll get to your band. But
Yeah.
so then I think we were having a little conversation prior to you know, us coming on air. We had a lot of conversation prior to coming on air. That's all good though. The outtakes, right? What did he say? So you're at City now, and you're full time.
Full time, yeah.
How many classes are music?
3 out of the 5 classes are music.
So what are the other 2?
English and a communications class. Yeah.
No, they're required, right?
Yeah.
Well,
required.
you got to do communication because I think that's that's a required course.
Yeah.
It's speech like 1A or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm in interpersonal communications.
Interpersonal. Everybody takes interpersonal.
Yeah.
They don't take the other one.
Yeah.
I took the other one
Oh, really?
because I like public speaking.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in groups.
Yeah.
Although I did do the group too, but I want to be able to speak. It's good for language. It's good for communicating. Okay, so you got 3 music classes. What are the 3?
Ear training, music theory, and I'm in the Fresno City Jazz Band.
Yeah, that's kind of badass. I like that. So you're full. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So if you do that and you stay, you kick ass in your classes. You'll get an AA in
Associates. I'll get my associate's degree, and I'm on a music for transfer program right now. So that's what Fresno City has. So
what's the program though? An associated arts in
music.
just music.
Music, just music.
Okay, not a concentration or anything.
No.
Okay, and yeah, because you know associates aren't like really specific.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, but there is like commercial music and stuff like that. So.
Okay, and then so you want to transfer, and then so the degree that you transfer for, that you want to do will be music.
Music, or
but go ahead.
If they, depending on where I want to go next, I'm very interested in film composition. So any composition classes and stuff like that,
You'd be like John Williams.
Yeah.
You know John Williams, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
And everything else on the planet. That dude's badass.
And Quincy Jones is a big influence.
Well,
You know, he wrote a lot of stuff for movies. And
Someone's been reading, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's you know, like, so on the musical end, if you're a musician, what's the ultimate goal of your music, right? To communicate a message and to be heard.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, you know, I'd like to make people feel the way I felt listening to music. You know.
Well, so what I was getting at was like with the John Williams, with the Quincy Jones, they create things. You know, they create things to listen to that you will never forget.
Yeah.
I mean, the Star Wars theme, right? I mean, come on. Who doesn't know that?
Yeah.
And how ubiquitous and long term is that going to be in our society?
Yeah.
And that part I dig on, where, you know, maybe you're not, like conversation we had earlier, right? Right before the show. Maybe you're not Eddie Van Halen playing Eruption, creating, innovating. Maybe you're John Williams.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And I think what I'm getting at for you is that choice.
Yeah.
The ability to make the choice and to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But each of those 2 particular things, those 2 examples, are impactful.
Yeah.
They affect a society. They affect music, obviously. But you know, no one will deny that, you know, like Eddie Van Halen's music affected a larger than just his band. It was a genre. It was an era. It was a time. It was an innovation in creation. Well, I mean, some of his guitars they had to create.
Yeah.
Because he innovated the guitar.
Yeah, I mean his you know, the striped, you know, guitar he built.
One everybody knows.
He built that guitar,
right.
You know. So
and then with John Williams, I mean, I think he has innovated the way people look at music and film. Yeah. And how pervasive and like thought-provoking deep into a society his music can be. Yeah. But ultimately what I'm getting at is like, to create, you want to be heard and you want to convey or communicate a message. Yeah. That, like, and you said, a feeling. No, exactly. You want people to feel what you feel just by hearing what you're thinking. Yeah. I'm
much.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I mean, I'm much more into the compositional standpoint of stuff, less than, you know, Eddie Van Halen was a great composer of music, but, you know, it was really his guitar technique that made him stand out. And stuff. Yeah. But, yeah.
So, I mean, you're doing like ear training. You're gonna, I always say, like, and I say these things, but I'm not the expert. I I know enough to know what I don't know, you know, in music. And that can be valuable.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm not an expert on this, but I have a base understanding. I've got a groundwork to know what's really good because I'm not that good, right?
Yeah.
And I look at it as, you know, an opportunity for people to do their thing and, like you said, you know, be heard and communicate to someone else in an audio form, music, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and to get that just in hearing something. That's, to me, that's kick-ass. And that's the best aspect of like humanity, right? Is getting something to someone else in a good way, a good thing, not bad stuff, not the bad stuff, but the good stuff, and getting them to know you and to understand you, to feel you, simply because you struck a few chords. To me, that's badass. I don't know about you, but you know, we're different ages. I'm old enough to be your dad, but I mean, I think that's the part that's timeless, right? Where it doesn't matter as long as you can get that to someone, and then the feeling's there. All right, give me your band and give me the names of the dudes in your band so that they don't call you a punk because you didn't name them.
So I'm in a band called The Dying Sons. We have Harrison Silva Costa, who is our lead singer, Zachary Sylvester, who is our bassist, and Bryce Lowenthal, who is our drummer, and then me, Max Winterburn, who is our guitarist. So.
By far the best name of the whole group.
Oh, really? Thank you.
I like that, Winterburn.
Thank you.
I like Winterburn. Yeah, baby. You can do some crazy stuff with that, like in a logo. Winterburn, WB. Or like, anyway, I'm thinking creative, like visual stuff. Okay, so talk a little bit about the type of music you guys are playing, and like maybe like what's the direction you guys want to go. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it?
Okay.
And then we'll get into like what you guys are doing now.
Yeah. So when we first started playing, you know, we really were very influenced by Led Zeppelin and Queen and Black Sabbath and, you know, very 70s blues rock kind of stuff. And, you know, it was shown heavily through what we were writing and what we were playing, you know. And so we have a EP out right now. It's just a self-titled EP, The Dying Sons, and it's very much so like, you know, very classic rock, 70s kind of sound. But as the music we're listening to is evolving, our music is evolving, and the stuff we've been writing now has, you know, we've been listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder and a lot of funk stuff, and a lot more, you know, popular music. So we've been writing
from that time period.
From that time period, and
that's out of the '60s into the '70s too, right?
Yeah, and you know, me personally have been getting more into, you know, just the music that's popular today and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we're definitely evolving very quick, and the stuff we're writing is evolving very fast. You know, so there's definitely a contrast between the stuff that's gonna be out versus the stuff that is already out.
Okay. And so that's probably a product of you guys, you know, tinkering, playing, and meshing your different likes and wants, right?
Yeah.
As a group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of lost, is that it's like everybody has what they want to do, and then you get in a group or a band with other people that even though you might be of like mind, meaning you guys kind of like the same stuff, it's not always exactly the same, and so you guys kind of have to, you know, smooth out the rough edges to get to something that everybody of a group of 4 or 5 guys likes.
Exactly.
And then you can move forward, and then it alters because, you know, the compromise is like, I really want to play this stuff right here, but I got to compromise a little bit because I got to play in a group with other dudes, and even though it's not exactly what I want, it gets me down the road. And ultimately, if you don't move anywhere, you don't go anywhere. You know, it sounds oxymoronic, right? But it's the truth. If you don't do something, you're not going anywhere. If you just want to play your own thing and you don't want to compromise on anything, you're probably going to be playing by yourself.
Yeah.
That can't, you know, maybe that could be good, but I think you get my point. It's about growing together, learning and experimenting and listening to something that some other dude has, like, damn, that's pretty good. I never heard that. And then, you know, you expose yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, we've definitely been broadening, what we want to do with music, and we've kind of naturally been starting to make things because more digestible, to a more public, broader audience. Because we could do crazy, Rush, crazy rock stuff, but if anything, we've been writing a lot more, ballady, slower, dancey songs and stuff. And we've been listening to all sorts of different music, like hip hop. We've been getting into hip hop. I was just listening to NWA and The Far Side on the way over here and stuff like that. And
What?
yeah, and we've we've been like, oh, we should write stuff with a hip hop feel, and all this. So we're kind of doing a lot of different stuff.
I'll tell you point blank. I mean, it's like kind of like I said earlier conversation before we came on air. It's like experiment, try things, explore.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing, for you, it's not an age thing. I don't want to like do the old dog age thing, right? Like, oh, you guys are young. You just like it's not that. It's like creatively where you're at, right? You're at a beginning where you have some feelings and thought on things that you do that you play, and then like the world's the oyster. Like, damn, I kind of want to do that too. What I'm telling you is like, do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You do too much? Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, get the hell out of here. That ain't bad. I mean, that's no joke. I'm kind of there right now myself. I'm about to hit 50, and I want to listen to everything on the damn planet.
Yeah.
I do. I want to listen to everything on the damn planet because I'm like feeling out these differences and the similarities all at once, and I'm enjoying that because creatively, whether you're 50 or 18, music can make you feel good. The feeling that I feel, that you feel, regardless of our age difference, is the same damn feeling, right? Good music, like, hell yeah, I like that. Okay, it doesn't matter what age you are. It just matters that you still feel. And that's my point, is like, experiment, explore, feel, try, do. It doesn't matter what the hell the genre is. There's nothing pigeonholing you. You're still at a great point where like you can do whatever the hell you want. But you want a wide blanket, wide window to operate from. I'll give you I'll digress a second, but I told you a little bit about my son prior, but I literally opened up like the library of music for him to explore and expand. And he has a library that's massive. He knows music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right up to now, because it was played for him, or it was fostered, or it was brought to him in-house, and told to. And then he went further and he did things like he took some good courses, even at the school he's at. They have music too, believe it or not. And he's really expanding his reach and getting some of the technical end to all of these different styles and genres to feel out what he wants to do. You can't know what you want to do unless you've heard all this good stuff. You got to try it all. I mean, I always joke about like, some guy comes up and he goes, I'm a genius, man. Look what I just created. And then the other guy comes up and was like, dude, that was done like 20 years ago. That exact same chord. That's already been done. No, how do you know that? And I said, go listen. You don't listen. You didn't go do some research. And that was played in 75, but you think it's new because you don't listen to anybody else. And you thought you created. No, you have to have a library of everything that came before you. If you don't know what came before you, how can you create something new? See how that works? And so that's, I guess my overall to you is like, I'm an older dog encouraging a younger dog to just like, hell with it, man. Just like open up and just do whatever the hell you want. If you want to listen to, and I'll say it because I listen to the hell out of it, NWA, right? Just explore, experiment, experience, and then whatever like you put through the mind churner, after years of doing work and study and school, there's going to be something that comes out on the other end. And that'll be the product of all of the stuff you put in it. You know what I mean? In a synthesized, clean form that is the sum total of all those things you've put in your head. That's good music. So, I mean, so you've got, with your guys, and we'll give a little tease here. So you guys have sent me, you sent me an EP, right? All right. So you guys have sent me an EP. We're not going to play it tonight because we're saving it, teasing it for this coming week, where I'm going to package your stuff with some other stuff. and it's going to be a music night for you guys on, I might be on Cheap Date Night next week. We might have a special just music cheap date night. Not a bad thing, guys, not a bad thing. So that's coming. I'll put this out there because I know I said something to Steven. If you guys want, it's up to you guys. If you want to do another one,
yeah.
I'll take 2.
Yeah.
And we'll put them both up.
Yeah.
And it's just getting your stuff out, right? I mean, that's like, there's no cost or charge. It's me putting my money and my thought, my belief and creativity where my mouth is, and giving you guys an arena and a platform and a venue, digital, audio, video, to get your music out. So if you guys want to do one more, I'm probably not going to put it up until next week. At least Wednesday would be the earliest, but it's probably I'm kind of leaning toward maybe just doing Cheap Date Night next Friday, and then we do multiple bands and groups. You guys are part of that. We got cool music from a lot of different, you know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, if you guys want to do one more or do another, whatever you guys feel comfortable with, or good, or with what you're creating. Yeah. Get me that before next week, obviously, and then I'll have that up too, and we'll have 2 songs. So it's Dying Sons. Yeah. There's 4 of you. What have you guys been doing during COVID?
Well, a lot of writing. Just writing.
Is it all of you, or is there 1 or 2 that are principal writers?
Before I was doing a lot of, you know, the music writing, and then Harry, our singer, was doing a lot of the lyrics and the melody writing, but now we're kind of all bringing stuff to the table, and we're all really liking, you know, what we're doing. But it's just been, you know, we've had to be very, you know, creative during this time, because we can't really play shows and stuff.
Well, we talked about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been talking about it on this show for almost the entire COVID time. Yeah. COVID is restrictive, obviously, but it means that people, bands, groups, musicians, and artists can't go and experience and experiment. I love saying experiment. Like, what do you mean you're going to go play a gig and experiment? Hell yeah, you're going to experiment in a gig. Yeah. You know, I mean, what happens when that amp doesn't work, right?
Yeah,
or that mic is like scratchy.
I've had to do a lot of stuff.
You gotta like on the spot. You gotta figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I've played guitar with my feet before, because we were covering a Led Zeppelin song, "Dazed and Confused," and Jimmy Page, he plays a part with a cello bow, the guitar.
Okay.
I completely forgot to bring my cello bow to the gig, and so when that part came up, I was like, I can't just.
So you do that?
Yeah. So.
All right.
So I didn't have my cello bow, and so I was like, oh, I got to do something else cool. You know, I can't just. You know. So I took my guitar off and started, you know, having my foot be the, you know, acting as my hand, and you know, and it got the job done. Yeah. You know, from an aspect of it being a really cool part.
It got the job done. I like that. No, well, you got to be creative, right? Yeah. But that's like I said, that's the beauty of, you know, performing for people. Yeah. I was going to say performing live, right? Yeah, live. Right. But performing for people is that when you know people are watching, you know, there's I don't want to say anxiety, but there's an intensity and a seriousness about it, because you got to be good. Yeah. And, you know, it's like you're on a high wire, right? Yeah. I don't want the net. Yeah. Because I want to be good. Yeah. Because if I fall off, I'm dust, right? Yeah. I do like that. I always like that about. Matter of fact, like, so for what we're doing right now for this is live right now. Yeah. And a good, healthy majority of everything that I do on air, like in front of a camera or a microphone, I like doing live. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can record. I said, I can record, but I prefer live. Yeah. Because I know that I have to perform. Yeah, exactly. That I have to be good. Yeah. That if I make a mistake, then I made a mistake, and I better correct it next time, right? Yeah. Yeah. If you get too comfortable with just recording all the time, then you know you can go back and do it again. Yeah. You know that if you screw it up, then it's okay. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do know that aspect too. Sometimes the screw-ups are the best. You know, sometimes that can happen. But my point is that I really, really dig on the process of being in front of people, knowing they're watching. And so back to this, there isn't that ability to the same degree to be able to just go perform live, you know, or in places where people are there because of COVID. So specifically, Like, how often do you get to play together? I mean, do you guys, get into a garage? You have a studio? You guys get together once a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week?
Yeah, we get together like 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and for like upwards, we'll be
The hell
like,
with those Zoom classes.
yeah. Well, our Zoom classes are in the mornings.
Hey, wait,
so.
you got a Zoom class? You just mute yourself, right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm actually playing.
Yeah. But and we'll practice for upwards to, or practice and write for upwards to like 6 or 7 hours. And we'll take a break in between. But we're very
that's serious business.
As much as we're all best friends, and we could just hang out with each other all that 7 hours. We do take it very seriously about writing, and we like to get down to business because we do take this very seriously.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. I like that. I'm like, I won't go too far, digress too much, but so a week ago, so I was like, it took about 3 or 4 hours, but the process of doing the music and doing music with someone that you've never played with before, and you guys, you guys have played before, but I'm talking about playing with someone you've not played before with, someone that is good and you're not, and then the, I don't want to say the experimenting or the experience of playing, but the getting to know the other person and to feeling them out and to understanding how they play and their thought. I mean, you can hear someone's thoughts in their notes. It's their personality, right? It's their thing. It's who they are. You can hear who that person is in the way they play. And there's a beauty to that in playing with other people and playing in front of people that is entirely organic and that forces you, like, mentally to be better, to get better. And so the overall point in what we're talking about here is, if you don't have that ability, if there aren't clubs or venues that give you the format, the forum to be able to do that, then you have to do it in other ways. And so you guys, I got to tell you, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to say I'm impressed, but I like the fact that you're playing that much. Because in logging in that time, again, conversation we had earlier, you got to log in time. There's no substitute. You can't wing it.
I mean, from the beginning, it was how many hours can we get in? What is the most efficient schedule so we can get in the most hours? And during the school year, me and my drummer were in the car one day and we're like, why don't we get up at 4:30 before school every morning and meet at my place? Because I live out in the country, so there's no one around me, so I can be playing loud music all night if I wanted.
That's what I'm saying.
So we would get up in the mornings while school was still happening at like 4:30 and practice for a good two hours every morning.
Do I want to know that? Like, put that on air, you know that, right? It's on air. But then again, you're out of school, so you're out of high school. That's hysterical, man. I only want to talk about that because, like, the reality is, like, okay, because of COVID, there are a lot of things that are going on that no one wants to admit to. But I mean, come on, you kind of know that. You don't have to physically be in location somewhere. So
well, no. I mean, this was before school was starting.
I thought you meant during school.
No. This was in the morning before school. So we'd wake up.
I was about to say you're a bad kid.
No. We were in class.
Because then we get you in trouble, right?
Yeah.
We get you in trouble.
But it was before school, and then we leave at 7:30 to go to school. And then even practice after school. So, we're so into it. And it's a passion.
Well, you're a good kid. But you do know there's probably somebody out there doing what I said.
Yeah, probably.
I know. Yeah. They're not, I'm in my Zoom class, Mom. No, you're not. Hell no, you're not. You're sitting there doing something else. You're sitting there writing your damn lyric. Yeah, that happens a lot, right? They do the lyric. So you guys, how long you been together total?
We've been together for almost 2 years now.
2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was I thinking? I'm thinking maybe because you're 18, so you're just out of high school.
Yeah, so we got together about halfway through my junior year, and I'm in my freshman year.
Right, so
college.
then you're creeping up on.
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay. And so the same 4 guys?
Same 4 guys, and then we now have a new guy.
So you logged in a lot of time together.
Oh, yeah, a lot of time. Yeah. There's been a lot of issues with families wanting us home and stuff.
Oh, I bet. I'm going to guess you guys, some of you probably... You guys have probably been together longer than you've had girlfriends.
Yeah, probably.
I'll get you in trouble, kid. I'll get you in trouble. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at getting guys in trouble with their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like someone won't even know, but I'm good at that. Anyway, but I mean, to put in that kind of time though,
yeah,
and to have, well, here's the thing. I won't go too far here, but to have a girlfriend that's accommodating or understanding of the time commitment, that ain't easy.
Yeah, that's not easy. But I think
I buy some flowers or something.
I think I'm lucky with that. So.
You gotta spend some money, buy some flowers or go to dinner or whatever the heck it is, man. All right, so let's do this. So, what do you have? What do you? Yeah, I need to do this. You're 18. So I've had a hell of a time with the COVID situation in terms of music, and I'm barely getting to a point where, like, for the year, like to where we are now. Think about where we're at. Right, we're finishing up October. Yeah, there's only been 2 damn months left. The year's done. Yeah, and people are like freaking out, like, what the hell happened to this year? Well, COVID happened this year, obviously. Yeah, but I do believe, and I've talked to plenty of guests that we've had on. I've said I do believe that COVID has stifled creativity for a lot of different reasons, including the lack of ability to play live and in front of people, concerts, stuff like that. Even, you hear artists complaining about that, and legitimately, because they can't do it, and they just have to find other ways. But I've had a devil of a time with, like, finding, for me, what I feel is the good music of the year. Like, what is the best of the year, right? I even joke that, like, normally by this time of year, like, you finish up the summer, and there's always, like, the song of the summer, the hit of the summer, right? Yeah. That is kind of not even there. It's like nebulous. I had to actually consider and think about it, like, this isn't, Blurred Lines in 10 or 12 or whatever, or Cake by the Ocean or something. Some song that was catchy, that happened over the summer, that everybody's listening to. That kind of didn't happen. And I think the only one that I can say that right now I identify, like, on a pop level, like, massive, The Weeknd, Blinding Lights. Okay, because I think that just broke the record for the longest amount of time in the top 5. It's almost like the whole year. So legitimately, there's a song, right? But I do think that the depth to the music isn't the same this year. It's going to be weaker. And I'm not being mean. It's just calling it out. I'm a straight, honest guy. I do think that the depth quality of music is going to be weaker. So I'm literally trying to find, because I pride myself on listening to a lot of different types of music, but just the kind of handful that stand out, because they get played a lot, and their world. I mean, I'm just like, I've been listening to that damn little Doja Cat, Say So.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cool little video, right? It's a cool little video, and it's like, I guess it's catchy as hell. The Weeknd, that song. And then I've said a bunch of times on air, I've listened to the hell out of Fine Line, the Harry Styles album. Because of the diversity of music on it. There's a real diversity in the quality of instrumentation and the construction of the music. And I'm not a boy bander, guy. I said that even last week. I'm not a boy band guy. I'm a hard old infantry dude. And I like, heavy stuff. I like rap. I like rock. But that I've listened to that whole album over and over and over again, and I'm, like, super impressed. And I think it's kind of hard to, like, I'm impressed. Why? Because he was in one direction and he left, and now he's got, like, the pick of the best artist, the best guitarist, the best this, the best that, because his label's going to provide everything. I mean, it's kind of cheating, right? There's no way he can be bad, because he's going to have the best of everything to choose from. It's like going to a meal and you got, like, the best. You got steak here. You got, you get everything to choose from, because you got the platform. You're there. But having said that, that doesn't mean that. I mean, because I've seen people that had a crazy capability with what they were given, and they blow it. I mean, you can blow it. Maybe because you're not disciplined, you're not focused, in the artist world, maybe you're high all the time. Maybe you just don't give a damn. Maybe you're unfocused. Maybe you let your relationships bust up, your creativity. But, I'll say it again, because I've said it a bunch of times, like, that is probably my favorite album of the year. And I've had people like, really? You? I'm like, it is. And I listen to a lot of music. But that album has impressed the hell out of me. And I'm really big right now on finding and listening for lyric and melody, because we're losing that a lot, actually. Let me retract that statement. We're losing that.
Yeah.
Good quality lyric and melody in pop music and in general music, and I don't want to ever lose that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I don't want to lose that. I want that. And so we have to find that, we have to foster it, we have to get it out, we have to talk about it and say it's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
This isn't an algorithm, it's just a damn good melody.
Yeah,
okay, but it needs to be viewed and liked and shared.
Yeah, exactly.
The same as all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's really kind of all I have in my head, and I'm loading you up and talking a lot so you can kind of give me what you got outside of, your music.
Yeah.
Like for this year, just this year though, just this year. 2020, because you're helping me. Because at the end of this year, what I do every year, I go back and I create a list of SuperMex's top 20 songs of the year.
Yeah.
I even did one for the decade. I did songs for the decade,
Yeah.
the whole tens.
Yeah.
But I need to do that, and I'm having the devil of a time. It's usually I do top 20 for the year.
Yeah.
And if I had to do top 20 right now, I couldn't do it. I mean, I could throw songs on there.
Yeah.
But I want 20 quality songs that are that good if I'm going to do a best of list. So give me what you got. What are you listening for? What are you listening to? What do you like?
Yeah.
Because you did say you guys are listening to more current, right?
Yeah, current music. Not so much like, top 40, even though I do listen to, sometimes we'll listen to some top 40 stuff. But like one artist we've been listening to a lot is Tame Impala, who just released a new album, which is really does have like a electronic kind of pop to it.
Okay, give me the name.
Tame Impala.
Can you spell it?
TameImpala.
Oh, Tame Impala.
Yeah, Tame Impala.
Like the car? Is it Impala?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the car or the animal.
I'm pretty sure it's the animal.
It is the animal.
Because he's from Australia.
I'm an old Mexican dude, so I grew up with lowriders. You have to have a 66 Impala, Super Sport. There you go, culture. So Tame Impala. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it a group or is it a guy?
Yeah, it's a group, but there's really one guy behind it all.
Okay. And so you said he's Australian?
Yeah, they're from Australia. Yeah. But yeah, them and yeah. I mean, it's definitely more oldies than that we've been listening to, but yeah, Tame Impala and some more like 2000s stuff like the Shins and stuff like that. But that's not that's not this year. But
no, but that gives me an insight into what you've got in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can listen to something from 20 years ago, and it may manifest itself in a lyric you put together, or a chord you put together, right?
Yeah.
And if it sounds good, guess what? It's 2020.
Yeah, but
I
have listened to Doja Cat and stuff like that.
Listen, that is like a perftly constructed pop song.
Yeah.
It's just catchy as hell.
Yeah,
and it's funny as hell too.
It's a catchy song.
It is catchy song, and here's the thing: like I don't like. Everybody gets to their, their arrogant, like snooty. I don't listen to that because I like
pop.
listening. You go somewhere and you pull out some obscure song that, is just some band that just popped up and they put it on YouTube and you get it. And no one's ever heard of it, but you grabbed it and you listen to it like, I like to listen to real music. Listen to this. No one's ever heard of it. You never heard of it.
Yeah.
But you're doing that so you can sound like you know something, right?
Yeah.
The reality is that, listen, there is good music that is pop and that maybe goes big because it's good music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's good. So I'm going to say it because I didn't really, when that song came out, when that song came out, I didn't really listen to it. Because I was like locked in on, doing other things, and I wasn't like, the COVID thing, right? But I really didn't really catch that song. And it's only over the last 2-3 months, a couple months, that I started listening to that song, and I watched the video, and I start moving, I'm like, okay, I like this song. It is catchy as hell.
Yeah, it's got a really good melody.
It is. And it's not, to me, the downside canned pop rap / hip hop pop song, right?
Yeah.
It isn't to me that, even though I know that it's constructed that way, but it's a catchy little tune and it's a good tune one way or the other. And so I'm okay with listening to it.
Yeah.
So there's that. But Okay, so you got Tame Impala. Give me something else. Educate me a little bit.
Well,
Give me something you think I may not know. And here's why. You can catch me, you can get me on stuff that might be current that isn't mainstream.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's current that isn't so mainstream. Like, there's a band called The Garden. It's
The Garden?
Yeah, The Garden. It's these two twins, really doing some really crazy, weird stuff.
Are they named after the Guns N' Roses song?
No, I don't think so. But really
Use
doing
your illusion.
really different, like something I've never heard before, and that's really what intrigued me about
So
them.
what are they? I mean, instruments.
Instruments, a lot of. Well, I know one of them plays bass, but he has all these effects on his bass and stuff.
Okay.
And then the other one plays drums, but they really are about the electronic keyboard and stuff like that, and sampling sounds and like doing all this cool stuff. And they kind of sing, rap, kind of do a lot of different stuff. But it's
just two of them?
Yeah, just two of them. And,
really?
Yeah, and they're from Orange County. But
wow. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah. They just released an album. Not so much. I was a little bit disappointed, but their stuff before that was really different.
How long have they been doing music?
I think they've been doing music for, I don't know, maybe. I think. I don't really know. I don't want to be wrong.
Are they old?
Yeah. They're not old.
No.
They're young. I think they're
What's
they're
old,
in their
right?
they're in their 20s. I think
Okay.
past 25. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, The Garden. I'm gonna throw you one. There's a group, and they do, and the reason why I'm thinking about it is because I've been listening to them, and I'm like, didn't even really know I was listening to them. But I was listening to other music, and they would pop up on different things because they collaborate with a lot of others. Collaboration, right? You got to collaborate nowadays.
Yeah.
If you don't collaborate, you don't survive.
Yeah.
Because you have to cross genre, and you have to be, you have to get your likes and views up.
Yeah.
So I kind of said to you, and I'm hinting to the audience, it's coming this coming week, something special. But working with a musician last week, and she and I talked about how to make, and she's a pianist, and she's phenomenal, Grammy nominated. And we were talking about how to make, like, piano.
Yeah.
When you get piano, I mean, there's two in particular. Falling by Harry Styles, great piano piece.
Yeah.
It really is good piano.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Put a Little Love on Me by Niall Horan. I love that song.
Okay.
I absolutely love that song. It's incredible. So anyway, those are two piano pieces, right? How do you make those older traditional classical instruments relevant and current, right?
Yeah.
The piano, because it has every note on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You can do that, right? And I don't think it's ever going to be done that way. There will always be piano that is pop or mainstream. I just don't see that ever not having. Maybe I'm wrong, but because it has every note in the spectrum, you can do stuff with it. Okay. So having said that, the group I'm thinking about is Clean Bandit.
Clean
Bandit?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's Clean Bandit. It's a gal, and she is a classically trained cellist. I was thinking about the bow. That's why. Okay. I do have a little bit of a library of the music, but she's a classically trained cellist. Incredible. She's phenomenal. I mean, she's badass.
Yeah.
And she's got two guys that are with her. So it's one gal, two guys. They're classically trained musicians. And so she plays cello. And she partners with Major Lazer, Anne Marie, World Music, and really cool music. And it's pop, and it's world music, but it's with classical musicians. One of my favorite, and here's part of it, and I didn't say this to you earlier, but part of what I do with Cheap Date Night is I got to learn something from you.
Yeah.
And hopefully my old ass isn't too bad that I can't teach you something, right? Teach and learn, right? It's a teach and learn thing. But the song that and this is like, it's not new. It's 2-3 years old. My point is that I'm going back to some things, and I'm getting some things that I missed or maybe that I didn't get. There's so much music, right?
Yeah.
You can't get everything in 1 year.
Yeah.
Maybe you hear something like, oh yeah, that's actually old. Well, I didn't hear it, so it's not old to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people all the time, like, okay, it might be old for you, but it's new for me.
Yeah.
And because you say it's old doesn't mean I'm gonna not listen to it.
Yeah.
So the song is it's Clean Bandit, and they collaborate with her name is Zara Larson. She's Swedish. Have you ever heard of her? Okay, she's Swedish. She's a absolutely incredible vocalist.
Okay.
Cute gal. She's only like 21, 22, a little older than you, not much. But it's Zara Larsson, and the song is called Symphony. And it's literally her with a beautiful voice and an incredible lyric, great message too. You got to watch the video. And then she's just flanked. And she's a pretty girl, but she's like standing here, incredible voice, singing this song. Song's called Symphony. And she's surrounded by a symphony, the full thing, the whole, every instrument. And right next to her is the gal, I always forget her name. And she's real distinct because her hair is like white. It's like solid white.
Yeah.
The one that plays cello.
Okay.
And she's just like working the hell out of that cello while they're playing this song. And it's a pop song, but beautifully done with the full symphony.
Yeah.
And the lead, person on Clean Bandit, the group, the gal and the two guys, she's just beating the hell out of that cello, man, and it's just incredible. The guys one's playing piano and some other, and then it's just a full symphony. And Zara Larsson standing there just singing with an incredible, voice and communicating a great message. So check that out because they're classically trained. They partner and collaborate with a lot of like world musicians, rappers. I mean, you name it, they do it. Major Lazer is more electronic and world. Like they got a lot of cool stuff. I listen to the hell out of. Here's what I work out to some of this stuff. Major Lazer's "Watch Out for This" with Boumaye. I don't know if you heard that. That's from like 4 or 5 years ago. It's like a Jamaican beat. At that song, I can dance to, work out to. Like you can loop that, and I'll ride my bike for like 3 hours. Because I like the beat, I like the dance. All right, so Major Lazer. So anyway, so they partner, and so Clean Bandit partners with a lot of them like that. And but check her out. Check out Zara Larsson too. She's phenomenal. I think she's only going to get bigger. I've got my eyes on some of the females, the pop queens, right, that are just keep getting. They're going to get bigger. It's not just Dua Lipa. This other gal's good too. And there are others. So that's what I'm giving to you tonight. I'm getting some of yours, but Zara Larsson is a vocalist. She's Swedish. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm listening to more stuff outside of the States, outside of the United States. I want to hear other. And then, like I say, Clean Bandit. They're incredible. I'm just sitting there like the collaborations they've done and all the different. You can pull this up on YouTube real easy, but Symphony, that's probably my favorite of them. It's without being too candy ass. It's easy to not be viewed candy ass when you're a hard old infantry guy. Anyway, without being too candy ass, it is a beautiful composition of a song. The lyric and the message in the song. The instrumentation, obviously the full symphony, and the way they managed to mesh a pop queen, in the making, beautiful voice, a group that can collaborate with anything but classically trained on instruments that are not mainstream, and then a full symphony.
Orchestras and symphonies they're so beautiful.
You can do them. Right.
And I have a lot of visions and stuff in our music for orchestras and symphonies, but obviously we can't finance that right now. And that's one of the things. Like,
well, maybe I will. Maybe I will. No, I'm not joking because I'm not doing music the way a different road would have taken me if I was your age again and I had just stayed on music. Right? No regrets. But I'm finding now where I'm at that I have the ability to put people together, to get people to work together, to get different types of music together. And not a coincidence. I'm bringing it up because I like that. It's incredible. It's it got me to say beautiful. I don't say it very often. But the point is that those things are all doable, possible. They really are. And you got to work on things, you got to build things, and you got to get to that, and then boom. I mean, you do something that is so singularly unique, and I don't mean having a symphony. Obviously, other rock bands and mainstream pop artists have done that for a long time. That's not new. But if you can flesh out a really good message, kind of like what you were saying earlier, what we talked about.
Yeah.
A message to communicate to people that makes you feel the way you feel when you want this song out.
Yeah.
In full,
No,
like
exactly.
with the whole thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
In this monster ass venue,
Yeah.
and you've got cello, you've got strings, you've got horns, you've got brass, you got everything, right?
Yeah.
And like, hey, look what I got here. I mean, this is monstrous. That's when you can really get to something good. And I'm sharing that with you right now because I do want you to take a look at that, check that out.
Yeah.
Just those two, Zara Larsson, and she's pop, she's pop, but man, she's got a great voice. And it really, I didn't know that how good she was of a vocalist until I heard that song.
Yeah.
The song's called Symphony. Symphony. And you look Zara Larsson, you'll find it. So Zara Larsson, Clean Bandits, the group, classically trained on instruments that are not mainstream, a cello, play the bow, right?
Yeah.
The bow. And then full orchestra. And then I listen to a lot of Major Lazer. Those guys are really creative. They're really, really creative. And they collaborate with everybody on the planet.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm giving to you. All right, so I've got from you The Garden, The Shins, Tame Impala.
Tame Impala, yeah.
You got the cool names, man.
Yeah, and another artist you should check out. Have you heard of Jacob Collier?
I have not.
Yeah, he's a talented young guy. He's, oh my gosh, I say he's like beaten music, like, because it's just the stuff he's doing is just so, it's insane. You'll just have to listen to it. Genre of music, I can't even put it in a genre because he's done so many different things.
Then I'm probably gonna listen because I like that.
Yeah,
I don't like you ask that, right? Like, what's the genre? But I do think, and I've had this discussion with my son that you guys, your age, not so much my age. My age is hardwired that way. Like, okay, what genre are you?
Yeah.
And that's like music industry stuff.
Yeah.
You are this, you are that. Then you put you in the little boxes, right? I don't want to be that, but I'm hardwired that way because that's the way I grew up. That's all I know. And, fortunately, I still try to not know that. I'm trying to learn other things. That's why I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
But we're getting to that, like, amorphous, not singularly identifiable genre.
Yeah.
Because people your age and, their teens, 20s, et cetera, they don't want to be said as, I'm that. They don't want to be known as that one thing. They want to be known for good music.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty. That's where I want to see it go.
Yeah.
Me personally, that's where I want to see it go. And so what I'm saying to you is, like, if a guy like me wants to see that for you guys, that's good for you guys, right? Because like, okay, there's at least one old dude that doesn't want to put us in a box and tell us, hey, I'm your label, you can only do this, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to get to create because I need these shares and likes, and your Instagram account isn't busting the number it needs. I'm laughing about it, but it's all true.
Yeah, it is.
It is all true. So, and I know we talked a little bit about that before the show, but like, trust me, I'm aware of all that stuff, and I'm kind of like hardwiring it into me, reverse hardwiring, engineering, so that there is a way to do that so you guys can be like hyper creative without all the inhibitions and restrictions that will get laid on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I wanted to say this earlier about, what we've been doing. With,
go for it. We got a few minutes here, but go ahead. Like,
with COVID and stuff. So, we'd been playing like the, house show circuit and just
the house show circuit.
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, there's places that
What is that? The house show circuit.
Well, there's.
How do I not know about this?
Well, I don't know. It's very.
Old timers don't know these things.
Yeah. But
that's dirty, man. You guys don't let us old timers. Hey, so you're doing a show like, if that mug is over 30, he doesn't get in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
but and then the local venues and stuff. So our writing really was to serve those locals, like smaller shows. But and for the kids here, they go to shows for the most part because they want to feel the energy and mosh around and go crazy. So we were really writing those kind of songs.
Okay.
But now that we haven't been able to play shows, we've really been more.
You don't have to.
We don't have to.
You don't have
and
to.
we've just been so much more open-minded to writing ballads and writing.
No, that's how creativity alters, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It fits the need, right?
Yeah.
So if I don't have to write a heavy mosh song for emotion, then I can write something different.
Yeah.
And that allows you to be creative in other ways.
Yeah.
But give me that. So the house, show circuit?
Yeah,
Explain.
yeah. I mean, there's house shows, like, you know, house parties, house shows that you know, a lot of the young kids
So
go
is
to.
it like a band, a group? You got multiple, the DJ stuff?
We've got some shows where it's, you know, just one band, some shows where there's 6 bands, you know, playing.
Really?
Yeah, and it's, you know.
Damn.
Yeah, it's.
How do I not know this?
Yeah, I mean.
How do I not know this?
They happen. They're around town. I mean, not right now.
That sounds like some underground stuff.
No,
man.
it is pretty underground.
Man, that is dirty. That's underground for youngsters, and us old people are blocked out. I like music. Like, I like music.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. Okay, so house show circuit. I'm going to write that down because I don't even know what the hell that is. Jesus. Anything else you got to get out?
Well.
Anybody you got to thank?
I'd like to thank my father because he's been very supportive, you know, with us both financially and with other things, you know.
Money, huh?
Yeah, you know, because, you know, it really helps to, you know, have someone who supports you. And we definitely are very privileged, you know, to have, you know, someone behind us kind of.
At least you recognize
you know,
it. You'd be
throwing us a bone.
There are a lot
sometimes.
of kids that don't acknowledge or recognize.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's someone I would like to thank. Yeah.
Okay. Well, give me your name. I don't like it. I like to thank my dad. Who the hell's your dad?
Philip Musson. That's his last name.
Philip.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else before we head out?
Check us out on Spotify.
Oh yeah, you got to give me all that stuff.
Yeah. So we're on Spotify and YouTube and Instagram and.
Okay, so is it all under the same name?
Yeah, The Dying Sons. Actually, we're on.
Can we get that up, AP? Like put something up, like what you said, Spotify?
Spotify. We're actually on all music platforms.
So just The Dying Sons.
The Dying Sons. Yeah, and if you search us on Google, we'll come up as a musical artist and stuff like that. So you can find our stuff out there pretty easily.
Okay. You guys have a site, or you just have it on the platforms?
Just the platforms, and we have, you know, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
Okay. What's the Facebook?
The Dying Sons. Yeah. So everything is just The Dying Sons. Yeah.
All right. So for sure, what I'll do is so tonight when I get back, I'll look for you guys, friend you, and then I'll get you in my group.
Okay.
So I have a group. We just went over 1,000, but it's like a really solid 1,000 people. Like it was just like slowly. Didn't do anything, just people that want to be. It started as mostly like a political, social thing, and there's still a lot of that, you know. And that's not bad, you know, because I believe in public and community, and I believe in being engaged, including now. You know, obviously a difficult time right now.
Yeah.
You know, this little situation we're in with the political, but
yeah,
it's people that just like or believe in the way I do things, not just my political thought, but the way I am, the process of like being fair, open-minded, honest, allowing people to do their thing, not being an ass and stifling or limiting people, being fair, open, honest, you know, being equal with gender, with color, with your economic station, where you live. Everybody in my world gets treated the same. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you look like, who your daddy was, your mama was. I don't give a damn. I don't care how much money you got. None of that matters to me. I judge people literally based on who they are and how they conduct themselves. And even though a lot of people like to say that, not everybody practices that. I practice it tooth and nail. I judge people based on who they are and how they conduct themselves.
That's good.
The other things do not move me at all. And I'm at a good point, like I said, in my life where I've lived that way for 50 years. It ain't changing now. That's who I am, and that's a good thing for whoever's around me. So I think that's good. That's it. We've done about a little over an hour, but I will, like I said, I'll hit you guys up and get you at least like the Facebook. And if you guys want, do another song, and we'll get that up by next week. And it's probably going to end up being, we'll do Cheap Date Night. We'll modify the form a little bit. It may just be all music, or it may be a little bit and then some music. One way or the other, it's going up, and it's going to be some music. And it's just, people creating, right? You know, people creating music and getting it out so they can be heard. The bottom line is, you have to be heard, you have to be seen.
Yeah.
People have to know what you're doing, and they have to feel that message, right? I like that line by you. You know, you want them to know, you want them to feel the emotion that you felt when you wrote the damn thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Or listening to
Yeah.
you know, other music.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm with that 100%. So I really like that. We'll talk a little bit after we're off show, but I had fun tonight. I hope you didn't. That wasn't
Yeah.
too bad.
Thank you
I'm
for having
easy.
me.
Trust me, I'm
Yeah.
pretty easygoing guy. And then
Yeah.
once you get on air with me, it's like, is this? I mean, are we on air? It's like it's just a conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just talking about good stuff. It's talking about good music, and again, just getting you out to a larger audience. And maybe we'll do, you know, in the future we'll do something with all of you guys, you know, all at once.
Yeah.
We'll schedule a little bit better, and we do something. Maybe just, you know, you guys can bring a guitar. We'll do something.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna sign off. So anyway, so for those of you guys back home, you know what time it is. It is wrap up cheap date night, and so you know the drill. We get to the end of the week. You guys get sent off after listening to some good talk and discussion on music. We're not doing so much songs tonight, but I think the Young Blood gave us plenty to listen to. Tame Impala, The Shins, The Garden, Jacob Collier. I gave you mine that I'm listening to right now. Zara Larson, Clean Bandit, Major Lazer, etc. And they're not new. They've been around a bit, but I'm listening to a lot of world and other outside music right now. I really want to experiment and fly my mind in other ways. So for all of you guys out there, you know, we do the political shows. That's not tonight. That's separate and different. But I think what I will say, and because remember, Cheap Date Night was never just like a singular item thing. It was about culture. It was about movies, TV, music. Today it was almost entirely music. Tonight, but like on a cultural level, I will say this: if you make it political, then that's on you. That's your choice. But vote. You know, vote. That's a voice. That's who you are. If you choose not to vote because you don't want to vote for anybody, then that's also your choice, and that's okay too. I never dug on the part where people say, if you don't vote, you don't get to talk or you don't get to voice your opinion. Garbage. All right? Having the freedom to choose what you want to do in America, because we got those freedoms, right? Hopefully for a little bit longer at least. Having the freedom to choose is also freedom to choose whether to vote or not. And that doesn't mean you cannot speak about what happens after an election. That's wrong. That's a misleading thought process. Don't let someone tell you you can't speak freely because you didn't vote. Matter of fact, you look them right in the eye, like I'm telling you to do now, like I'm doing with you right now, and you tell them, sorry, you don't get to tell me what my freedoms are. If I choose not to vote, that is because I have the right to do so. See how that works? It's called the Constitution, baby. Anyway, but I would say, and I'm asking you to, go out and vote. Go out and express your will, where you're at, whether you're one way or the other. I've said this before, I'll say it now. I didn't sign my name in a piece of paper and a war broke out and, you know, got scared real quick. But I didn't do that because I didn't want you to have the freedoms that you have. No soldier and no service person does that because they don't want you to have your freedoms. We do that because of that entirely. And I didn't sign my name on that piece of paper so that you didn't have that right. So I'm saying to you, asking, pleading, whatever, exercise your right to vote or not. But the more that do, the clearer picture we'll have of what this country is or what it isn't, because more views and more opinions and more voices will be heard. Man, that sounds kind of poetic. That's a good note to stop on. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Be safe, be careful. It is the weekend. You know my line, always be mindful not just of those in your immediate vicinity, but the other. It could be some guy running a red light. It could be somebody doing something they're not supposed to, and then you end up injured, harmed, or something bad happening to you. All right, so be mindful of the other. Take care of yourself. Want to make sure I see everybody next week. We'll be back up on Monday with 10 Minutes of Truth. It's going to be hard and heavy because we're about a week and a half away from the election, and you know I'm not pulling any punches. I only call out the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Nothing but love for you. SuperMex is out.